typical machine learning engineers, call them data scientists, machine learning engineers, just give them any name, typically they would overlook, that might have very serious implications down the road for the company, right? Any sort of implications. And perhaps you can just give an idea, like how would MLOps help us? Issues that are not technically engineering issues, yet could be, avoided if you have a good, solid MLOps infrastructure.
Yeah, Raja, that's a great point. And I like how the discussion evolved. I like what Faisal was doing about, the distinction about the development and then the deployment. And then Hamza also made a great point about, hey, it's not only CI/CD, there's the data, there's the model to deploy, right? If you recall our workshop we did here at Data Science Dojo, we said the AML with Kubernetes. Two of the bottlenecks usually are the data collection and the model deployment. So coming back to what Faisal said before, I think there are two development phases. One is called the inner loop, where developers code, test, create an artifact, right? And if you think about the data scientists, it's the same thing. They develop the model, they test the model, and then some automation, like Hamza was saying, some CI/CD can build this model as an artifact, can be usually a container image, right? If we target for Kubernetes, which is most of the time our target platform. So we connect this development phase called the inner loop to a deployment phase called the outer loop. And this connection is awfully automated, right? And it's going to be like if you look at the DevOps logo, it's usually an infinite loop, right? Because you start from the coding, then you deploy, and then you're coming back to update the model, and then you're coming back to deploy it again. So as we discussed, one of the bottleneck could be really the data collection, the model deployment. And I think the DevOps evolution in that, called now MLOps, can really help with some of the automation, like, hey, the data can be retrieved from a bucket automatically and could be fulfilled, and then the model can be containerized in a container image representing this model, right? And then some CI/CD process can deploy. And I want to make a point here also, which the evolution of DevOps right now is also having a GitOps approach. GitOps is a methodology. I think it's a kind of evolution infrastructure as a code where everything is on Git and everything is managed as a Git workflow. And we can, from the deployment phase of the model, this can be really helpful because it makes sure, again, consistency, I guess, multiple deployment of this model in multiple environments.